today we're going to be covering something a little bit different than what I normally do for my YouTube videos. Today's video is going to be about the basics of VRChat and what you need to know before getting into the game. So, this video is going to be divided up into 3 different sections. One about general safety settings, the second one's going to be worlds that you should know, and then lastly, we are going to go over some general stuff you should know before entering public lobbies. So, without further ado, let's go and get into it. So, first things first, you're going to want to know about a couple of different settings. So, let's go ahead and open this up now. So, one of the first settings you might want to take a look at is down in your tracking and IK. This is your height. You can calibrate it yourself. There's an auto calibration function. And then, if we go to avatars, there's a thing called avatar cloning. If you leave this on, people will be able to take your avatar. And yeah, there's auto disable avatar cloning. That is very helpful. And then imposter as fallback. Now, a lot of different custom avatars have imposter abbies, which is essentially just a low poly version of the avatar. So one of the next most important settings you should know about before getting into like VRChat is, if I can find it, because I am horrible at navigating this menu, the shield levels. So right here, this is all the stuff that is kind of like blacklisted if you are on the maximum rating, right? Everything that is on here that is off will not show up unless you turn it to a normal, none, or custom. The only stuff that really will show up is stuff from your friends. Friends are essentially the highest ranking you can get in this game, aside from Trusted User. Trusted User is the general highest ranking without being on someone's friends list. Anyways, so maximum, obviously, maximum amount of security you can have. This will keep a lot of very resource-heavy avatars off of your screen, meaning you won't really lag as much, or it'll keep some more unsavory abbies off your screen. Normally, I like to use the custom one, because, well, I want to see everyone's abbies. And then lastly, for the last important setting that you need to know about before playing this game is the personal space setting. Now, the personal space setting essentially makes other avatars disappear if you get within a certain distance. Now, if you want to keep it on, but if you want to turn it off, be sure to do so. That way you're not confused whenever someone's avatar disappears when you're trying to get closer to hear what they're saying. Alright, on to Section 2. So, Section 2, basically, I'm just going to show you a couple of worlds that you would like to look at, or would make your time on VRChat easier for at least the first little bit. So, going over to the first world I'm going to go and show you guys is Prismic's Search World. So, you'll go and see what's going on here in just a second. So, normally this place is referred to as Prismic's Avatar Search World. Currently, the April Fool's update is still going on. Now, for those of you who may be unaware, search worlds are where you can type in like basic names of avatars, or just type in something and an avatar will pop up here. Now, granted, it is limited, and if you try to do hyper-specific stuff, it may or may not pop up depending on if it is in the world's database. So, just to go ahead and give an example, let's say I want to look up a synth, and here we are. We got a couple of different abbies. Obviously, some of them aren't quite matching the description, or holy shit. Take 2. Alright, obviously, some of them are not really matching the name that has been given, but that's alright because it also searches through the tags as well. So, here we are. Nice couple of synth abbies, couple of non-synth abbies. And then, if you say want to be a little more specific and want to find a specific avatar creator, let's go ahead and go with you. Alright, so with avatars, you can look up the avatar user by going in, double-clicking on the abby, and then boom, you can find the avatar creator. So let's see, that'll be... And for search worlds, usually there's a separate setting for looking up the avatar creator themselves. So let's just go and look up Dusk real quick. And here we go. These all should be avatars made by Dusk, or people that are named Dusk. So yeah, here we are. Usually you gotta be pretty specific. Make sure you always capitalize. You put in any odd little symbol things that are on the avatar creator's name. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Now we're back. So, a couple of different things you should really know before using one of these worlds, especially Prismic's world. Now, over here we have PC, Android, and iOS. Now, the Quest kind of runs off the Android system, so Android is going to be your Quest only Avies, PC is going to be PC only, iOS is going to be for the mobile port of the game. Now, you can switch between which different ones you want to appear. Right now I have all of them appearing, but let's just say I want only PC Avies to appear. Okay, it's going to take a second, and then once it loads, the Avi should be appearing. Okay, maybe I misunderstood how to use this thing, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, basically, these allow you to flip through which kind of Avies you want to see. There's also performance settings. There's also the amount of Avies that you want to see per search. And then there's also the search speed. Now, I personally like to use a low count just to keep my frames under control and a fast search speed so that way it pops up quickly. Now, the last thing to know about this world and other avatar search worlds. Sometimes avatars will be ripped and put onto these worlds without the author's knowledge. The best way, to my knowledge, you can figure this out or like kind of detect this before you start using the Avi is if the avatar doesn't have a home world. So unless it is specifically labeled public and it doesn't have a home world, then it's likely ripped. All right, on to the second world. All right, there we go. Now we're at the actual world. So this world is called Furry Talk and Chill. It is a social world that is constantly active. It is one of the best places to kind of get started if you want to go in, start talking with people, making friends. And I have not been visiting too often, but the trolling has been down to a bit of a minimum, at least for the last couple of times I've been here. Now, as you can see, still going through the April Fool's update, hasn't really changed back to the default yet. So yeah, now we are going to move on to Section 3. Section 3 is going to be over the kinds of players, I guess, that you can find within VRChat. Now, obviously you have the normal people, furries, and trolls. Trolls can usually be found, or you can usually spot them by A, having a visitor rank, B, having a default Avi, and C, the most important one, by them being obnoxious as hell. Their whole goal when joining a lobby is to just go in and be an asshole. That is essentially what they're trying to do, trying to get a reaction out of people. You guys probably already know this. But just keep that in mind whenever you're playing this game. Another important feature, the block button. All you gotta do, click on someone, go over to where it says block, there you go. It'll give you an option to report them. Use your own judgment on that one, and that will essentially remove them from your world. You will no longer be able to see them, or hear them, or see any of the sprays that they put down on the ground. This is incredibly helpful for if there is someone particularly annoying and or troublesome. Also, with these kind of social worlds, there are admins. Granted, I don't know the admin schedule, but they will come on. You can submit a ticket on one of the Discord servers, and they will see if they can't do anything about a particularly troublesome person. Let's see. What else have I not covered yet? Oh, yeah, that's right. Menu navigation. Alright, just kidding. Actual last section, the menu navigation. So we've covered basic settings and which ones you should probably have on and or off, and also what worlds are best to visit. Some analog horror. Alright. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Menu navigation, right? So thankfully the menu is quite intuitive to actually, go through and navigate. So all you gotta do, open up the menu by pressing the button right above your mute button, which mutes you in game. So as you can see, we have worlds, your avatars, social menu. Social menu displays your friends' locations, group activity, all friends, in instance, and then you can have a couple of different special groups, and there's also a section for blocked. Now, the in-instance one is pretty helpful for if you're not entirely sure like what the lobby is mostly of. If it's of people outside the fandom, in the fandom, you can take a look at the Abby profile pictures that are shown and make your judgment from there. Also, from the menu thing, you can click on someone and it can give you a couple of different options. You can either send them a friend request, you can mute them, block them, so on and so forth. Next up, we have groups, a fairly recent feature. Sorry about that. You can either start up your own group or you can get invited to different groups. For the most part, it's kind of just a light social media feature-ish. See, so there's posts that you can view, there's instances, galleries, and group info. So, and also there are there are instances that are made for the groups. These are usually called group public instances, and if you're in the group or out of the group, you can join, so on and so forth. Whenever you're making a world, however, there are a couple of different options you have at hand. So you can make it friends plus, friends, invite, invite plus, and invite only, public, and group. You can also choose the region, and you can choose whether or not you just want to instantly teleport there, preload the world, or drop a portal. Now, granted, whenever you do drop a portal, usually there are some points in the world that you're currently at where portals are not able to be dropped. So keep that in mind whenever you're dropping one. Back to the menu navigation. So, beyond just the basic stuff, you also have these wing panels. The wing panels show your avatars, and you can do a quick switch between. There's also all the options you saw on the little handheld menu. Now, as for actually navigating which worlds you want to go to, and also seeing what VRChat has to offer, there are a couple of different categories. There's popular, active, new, noteworthy, avatar worlds, game worlds, spotlight cross-platform, spotlight PC, new, updated recently, community labs, random. So all of these basically categorize the worlds, and usually for community categorization, there are two different categories, either your game worlds or chill worlds. And then there's also the avatar worlds. So if you want to find something that like VRChat recommends, just go through, flip through these, see which one you like, pick that world, and then load into it. Or if you want to be a bit more specific, you can go over to the search engine. So let's say we want a specific art style of world or a specific like kind of genre. All you gotta do, type in the kind of art style you would want for a world, and there you go, it'll pop up. Now granted, it doesn't have every art style in the book, mostly just user-created content, but as soon as you search it up, you can find different worlds under the tag that you just searched. Over in refined search, relevance, last updated, popular. You can obviously tell which one or what these do. Relevance just keeps it to exactly what you typed. Last updated pulls up the most updated, up-to-date worlds. Popular, basically what world everyone likes in that specific category. Title, tags, description, and author, basically toggle those on and off as you please. And then another handy feature of a world is going down and seeing the tags. These tags can help you basically find other worlds with the same qualities as the world you're currently looking at. And another helpful feature is going over to the author and seeing what else they have uploaded. So, with all of that done and out of the way, thank you for tuning in. I know this video is a bit more out of the norm than usual for what I do, but at the same time I figured with the amount of people that can now afford Quest 3 or Quest 2, well, Quest 3S, my bad, it'd be important to put out a video that basically gives you guys the rundown of what all you need to know before getting into this game. Lastly, just understand this game is basically Twitter condensed into a VR format and can be chaotic as hell in public instances. So, without further ado, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a great day.